Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the WBL Preview Roundtable show. Today, we have a lot of insight into the next upcoming season. I'm your commish, Nick Brown. Alongside me, my EVP, Ryan Brown. And two core members of the WBL and FBL, Jonathan Sullivan to my right and Dan Sadek to my left. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
So today, we're going to discuss, like I said, some upcoming predictions for the next season. So, shout out to our sponsors, Barstool Sports and Dunkin' Donuts, for sponsoring this little short video.
Shout out Tap Water.
Tap water as well, and
Fruit Punch.
Fruit Punch.
fruity tap water. And with that
Definitely
being said,
not this team.
Oh, not that team.
No, we
yeah.
hate them.
We don't
They
like
suck.
that. With that being said, let's go right to our predictions. Ryan, take it away. What do we got up first?
Well, up first, we've discussed a lot about our new members this year, and so it feels only right to have a Rookie of the Year award this year, with so many new members coming into the league all at once.
I like it.
So, who you got for Rookie of the Year? Jonathan, we'll start with you.
Okay, my Rookie of the Year, I have Matty Baseball, Matt Cunningham. Well-known, good at baseball person. Should translate to wiffle ball, I assume. When I judge him up against the other players, I just think he's the best. So that's who my pick is for Rookie of the Year.
All right, I'm going to go with Paul Bolduc. Most recent signing for the WBL, depending on if we get any more people from when this video is shot. But I think Paul is going to be kind of an X factor. I think he's got the athletic talent, I think. That's the most important part for me, I think. I know Matt Cunningham's got that baseball experience, but I'm going to go with Paul Bolduc just based on pure unpredictability.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with Paul Bolduc as well. He's not the most experienced baseball player, in general, but he did play, in his past. And I think wiffle ball is one of those things that he's going to bring a lot of fire to. And he's been a part of the whole vibe, too. The FBL, he's made multiple appearances. Mm-hmm. So I would say watch out. I think he's going to have a big year. And, he might not shatter the numbers, but I think overall he'll stand out in the rookies.
I'm going to go with Billy Campbell. I've been told through sources that this man is the real deal. Hails from Quincy, Mass.
Only hits dingers.
Only hits dingers. Even though
true.
his town is being sued for dumping wastewater in, Quincy Bay.
Environmental scene.
Very tough scene. But, nonetheless, all signs indicate that this is the real deal. And if, he's invested and, I believe he played in high school.
Yes.
So he's got that experience that we've been talking about. I expect that to translate well.
He's not a munchkin, too.
And he's got that experience.
Yeah.
He's got the experience. Billy Campbell, Rookie of the Year. Okay. All right, so next, we just talked about some of our newest members. Let's talk about the returning members. So, most improved. Dan, who you got?
My most improved this year, I think Lil Mike. I think Lil Mike is going to finally put a lot of just what he's been going through, the struggles. I think he's going to get past a lot of those. It's tough to, get over tough hitting and, just not having that kind of consistent success. But when Mike has hit the ball, he's hit a home run off of me. He's hit, off of Ryan. Off of Sully.
No evidence.
Facts. But I think Lil Mike, I think this is his summer to really, we saw him in football. Most improved player, obviously, got in great shape and absolutely lit it up. I think the WBL, you need to have the technique, but I think he's going to figure it out now.
Mm-hmm. See, I would normally have agreed with you. I would have picked Lil Mike as well. But I don't think his head's going to be in it fully this year.
Okay.
So for that reason,
Right.
I'm going to choose a different kind of pick here. I think I'm going to start with somebody who's literally towards the bottom. I know Mike was literally at the bottom with that 195 average, but I don't think his head's going to be in it. That's just my opinion. Sorry, Mike.
That's fair.
So I'm going to go with the next worst player, and that would be the worst hitter in the league, Dan Sadek.
Your boy.
I think that you have the biggest window to make an improvement out of anybody in the league, and I believe that there's a bigger likelihood of you doing it than Mike, so I'm going to go with Dan Sadek.
As long as I don't die, then I'll be good. I am 124.
Yeah,
That's pretty ridiculous.
He could be croaking anytime soon. So.
I'm going to agree with Nick. I was also going to go with Dan Sadek for most improved. If once you're the worst hitter in the league, the only place you can go is up. You can't you can't get any worse than the worst hitter in the league. So, I think Dan Sadek, he's still going to be down the bottom, probably in average, but it's going to be an improvement from last year. I don't think he's going to be the worst hitter in the league, at least average-wise. and he's a southpaw. We got a couple more lefties coming into the
Cy Young
league this
candidate,
year.
people forget.
A couple more lefties coming into the league this year, so I think his pitching will translate better as well. So that's why I'm going with Dan.
I'm going to go with Marcus. I just feel like he's been playing, he's been just known as the guy that is, a great fielder and not really known for much anything else. He's okay hitting, he's okay pitching. But I just feel like this is his year to step up and really claim that, I think you can argue there's tiers in the league.
Yes.
There's an established top 3 in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the year that Marcus makes a push into that top tier. I think he figures it out on the mound. I think he improves his average drastically because it kind of wasn't great last year. It was. But I think Marcus comes through this year with a bang. So,
All right.
Nick, we're gonna move on to, speaking of fielding, Gold Glove. Who do you have as the Gold Glove winner in the league this year?
So my pick for Gold Glove this year is literally anybody besides me and Jonathan.
Okay.
Okay, Jonathan.
Interesting pick.
My pick for Gold Glove this year is Ryan, known well at fielding person. Last year was the first year for the Gold Glove. It was kind of given to Marcus. I feel like it was almost a pity vote.
He kind of crybabied his way to it.
So I think this
Still
is the
deserved.
first. I think this is
Still
the first
deserved.
year where you'll have a real voting for the Gold Glove. So that's why I'm going with Ryan.
I do have to agree. It's going to be definitely not either of you.
Or probably Lil Mike.
Probably not him either. Yeah.
You never know.
Because he's had
And
probably
Dan,
not
and
to
Dan
begin with.
Roach.
This could have been expanded more.
This could have been expanded more. Yes. I'm actually going to go with a newcomer. I think that one of the newcomers is definitely going to. I know that's ambiguous.
Yes, it is.
I mean, Nick's was too.
Unprepared scene.
Nick,
Prepared.
you didn't even pick one.
That's my pick.
Okay.
If you were to narrow it down, you just shoot a name against the wall.
Yeah, shoot a name against that wall. Just
All right. Against this wall.
yeah,
Yeah.
against
All
that
right.
wall.
T. Sully. Gold Glover. You heard it here first.
Unbelievable scene.
That
This is an
that
unbelievable scene.
unbelievable.
That is like
You-
that's
that-
the
this is
opposite
going to
of
send
Jonathan. That's
shockwaves
amazing.
in the league.
So it's gonna be a boring pick. I know you can boo. It's I'm picking Marcus to repeat as the Gold
Boo!
Glove
I just
winner.
booed.
Yeah,
Boo.
thank you.
Boo.
And so I think the consistency will be there. I think it's it's a matter of can anybody match it. I think a lot of people make a lot of great plays. I think in this league, pretty much anybody can make a highlight type of play, like make a dive and catch or something like that. It's just a matter of going forward, and I don't know. I think he'll continue that trend. I think he's not going to really fall off there fielding wise, and like Ryan said before, I think the batting will improve too, but I think the fielding is going to be sort of that same staple. So, yeah.
All right. So those are who we think will be great fielding. Let's talk about who will be not great at fielding. So who will be the Doo-Doo Glove Award winner? I will start. This one's easy for me. Patrick Miller. Oh my God.
Oh, tip drill scene. Let's
This
go.
is just an obvious pick.
This is
P. Miller,
unbelievable.
Doo-Doo Glove winner. Enough said.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. I honestly, I'm gonna go tip drill Miller. Yeah.
Or the same.
Oh God. Are we running
I'm
the
gonna
board?
switch it up. I'm gonna go with Dan Roach. A lot of people like to say that I'm the worst fielder in the league, but I think that's just some bias. I think Dan Roach is the worst fielder in the league, and I think that's gonna show again this year.
Wow.
All right. So moving away from that, moving more towards captainship. So who is going to be the #1 seed in the championship tourney come August? Who is going to be the most valuable captain? Jonathan, start with you.
Zach. It's just the obvious pick. I mean, Zach's pretty good hitter, pretty good pitcher. I just think he's going to be the best. I mean, him and Ryan are probably arguably the 1-2 best in the league for overall talent, but Ryan had a horrible year captainship last year.
We went from literally having top 3 finish in every tournament 2 years ago.
Yes.
to literally top 3 in like 1.
Yes,
It was tough.
he had to.
Maybe 2.
Let's just say he helped his chances out to make the Tennyson Classic roster last year because he needed it.
Big facts.
But Zach's consistently one of the top captains, I feel like, going back to all the years I've been in the league. So I expect nothing less this summer.
Unfortunately, I have to pick Zach too. This league has a Zach bias, and that's all I'm going to say.
Wow. Yeah, I am going with the boring pick too, but I think, especially with the way we're doing it now, it's not the tournament setup, and I think the tournament setup, can lead to a lot of fluke, finishes or fluke things to happen, and that kind of format's out the window now. So I think with this one, with a set amount of games, and you're playing everybody evenly, on a even amount of times. I just think that Zach's record overall, it's going to be hard to beat. I think it's going to be really, really tough to beat. So yeah.
Well, that confirms this league has a freaking Zach bias.
Sheesh.
And let me tell you, I'm not with it. I am not with it. I'm actually going to pick Marcus because not only do I think he's going to improve on the field, he's perennial as a captain, very good, especially in the regular season. And of late, he's been doing well in the postseason. Obviously, we're not taking into account postseason, but regular season Marcus as a captain, pretty good, pretty reliable. So if he might not be the betting favorite, the Zach bias might be the betting favorite, but Marcus will be up there. Mark my words.
They're marked.
Mark my words. Was that a pun?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
All right, so moving on to what Nick was probably waiting for, home run champion. So Nick, who is going to be this year's home run champion?
I have to ask a very important question first. Can you pick yourself?
Oh, no.
I'm picking myself, on the record. I'm picking myself, but since I am a rule follower, okay? I'm a fan of the people. I follow the rules. I won't pick myself in the show, even though I think I am going to be it. And I'll say Ryan, even though he's really not going to win. But I guess I'll just say Ryan for the sake of the show.
Okay.
No explanation, just that's it.
My pick is between Nick and Zach. Ryan, obviously a great hitter, but just because the field we're playing at, I can't find it in my heart to pick a lefty to win the home run championship. It is well documented. The field is extremely righty friendly. I know Dan Sadik believes that.
Yes.
I hope Ryan also believes that the
he
field
does.
is known righty friendly paradise. So that's why I can't pick Ryan.
Paradise.
But I'm going with Nick over
This is
Zach
unbelievable.
because we're going to be playing a lot of games this summer, and we're going to have a lot of new people. So some people, not everyone's going to show up for all the tournaments. So
There are no tournaments.
Okay, not everyone's going to show up for every single time we
We've
play.
lost that.
Not everyone is going to show up every single time we play.
Yeah.
And I think Nick is going to show up almost every single time we play. And I'm not sure if I think Zach's going to show up a ton, but I think Nick is going to play more games than Zach this summer. And because of that, he's going to have more plate appearances. And because of that, he's going to end up hitting more home runs. If you go by home runs per at-bat, Zach might win overall in the league. But overall home runs, I like Nick.
Well, based off of what I saw last year, if that were to continue, which I expected to, I would also have to pick Nick. Obviously, that's only because I can't pick myself, because people forget I had more home runs between the regular season and the postseason than Nick did. So, we all know who the real home run champion is, but in terms of regular season, probably going to be Nick because righty friendly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on this one here. Most home runs. I think that I think it might be next year. Again, I don't know. The righty friendly is a factor, but narrowing it down between him and Zach, I do think it's gonna be very close. You're probably gonna win by maybe like one home run, but yeah.
Disrespectful scene.
This is like
To Jonathan's point, that's just fucking rude. But
Disrespectful.
yeah, to Jonathan's point about the games played, I think that could play a role. I mean, you really never know. Summer's still far enough out there that you really don't know the actual availability of every single person. So I think that's really a question. So we'll see. But I'm gonna take Nick, but by this much. Bless you.
Bless you. Wonder if the camera picked that up. Unbelievable. All right.
We'll have to see. So moving on. So now we're getting into the big awards here. Cy Young. Daniel, I'll start with you. Cy Young winner. Who you got?
All right. As a Cy Young former finalist, well, not former, it happened. As a former Cy Young finalist, I think I have a decent guess here. I think it's very, very well educated, and I'm gonna go with Nick. And it's gonna sound like a Nick bias there, but he did come off a pretty, he pitched the whole Tennyson Classic, literally the whole Tennyson Classic, and really high stakes, championship game, like literally down. We had to come back, like he had to be nails the whole time, and I think that was a really, really good day pitching for Nick. I think we've seen his pitching get better over time, and this year
he had speed on his side.
This is true, but if we're going by WBL here, I think he's got the confidence to do it, so that's why I'm picking Nick. Don't get too high on yourself, bro.
Oh, he already is.
I know.
I'm being forced to abide to the league bias again of Zach.
Good reasoning.
I am also going with Zach for Cy Young. I think Nick might pitch better, but when push comes to shove, this league has a Zach bias. Hopefully some of the new players don't really know Zach. Not all of them know Zach like very well per se.
Hopefully they don't get torched.
So hopefully they don't, they come in with fresh minds, not indoctrinated with radicalism and Zach bias that I know this league has. So, but I'm still going with Zach because I think he'll dominate the core member votes, and then the other ones will be split up. I do think there'll be a few for Zach, and then he'll just have too much.
I refuse to abide by said Zach bias, and I will go with said, former finalist Dan Sadik.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Cy Young.
Now I'm definitely not going to win.
You correctly indicated we have an influx of left-handed hitters coming into the league.
Yes.
And speaking from experience, I think you can yourself.
Yes.
It's tough.
If he can get his sweeping curveball going, he can make a run.
There are no left-handed pitchers in the league.
Yes.
Except for lefty Ryan.
Yes.
Which, he's just a wild card. His ERA, it's either 0 or it's 69. It's either way, it's nice.
Yes.
But push comes to shove, the one true lefty in the league now has a plethora of left-handed hitters to go up against.
Yes.
If he can take advantage of those matchups and keep the righties in check, I see a Cy Young caliber season in the wings.
Impossible Zach bias.
So that leaves us with only 2 more, but 1 more award. Last award, MVP. I'll start. Last year, it was Zach. 2 years ago, it was myself. This year, the third tier 1 member will finally get what he needs.
Just came in my pants.
MVP will be Nick. I hate to say it,
This is unbelievable.
but everything's coming up nichey. To be honest, everything is coming up nichey. So MVP, nichey.
Wow.
I think I'm crying.
Well,
That was so.
I'm not picking you. So
That makes me feel better.
you can say Zach bias all you want, but
Zach bias.
all right. But no, I think his pitching will be top tier like it usually is. You're getting all those extra newbies that haven't seen him, like they have not seen this man pitch, and we've been seeing it for years, so we've gotten a little bit of accustomed to it, and still sometimes that's not enough. A lot of times actually for myself, but these new guys, if they can't figure him out, they don't have a ton of time. We're gonna play a ton of games, but I just think that he's gonna get a lot of advantage on that. And then the hitting as well, those newbies, if they come in and pitch, and he's able to pick up on them easy, and they're not very effective, he's just going to start, the offensive numbers and the pitching are going to be very high.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think the newbies are going to figure him out, and I think that's going to cause for a big inflation into Zach's numbers for the pitching, obviously. The problem with this is if Ryan was a better pitcher, I would have more of a reason to pick Ryan.
But
because
there's a
he's
different award for that. It's called Cy Young.
I know, but MVP is most valuable player, so it's the best of both worlds. You're just as good of a hitter as Zach, but you're not nearly as good of a pitcher. And because of that, added in with the league's Zach bias, since I can't pick myself, there's no other choice besides Zach.
So, in recent years, you've seen in professional sports some curses being broken. You had the Cubs win the World Series. You had the Cavs win a NBA championship. You even had the Caps win the Stanley Cup. You had the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
I
These
don't know
teams,
if I like where this
these
is
things
going.
that no one really, they're kind of perennial cruxes. They were just trash. Like, they could never do anything. So I think that comes to the WBL this year. Not. Because some things like dynasties are still going on, like the Patriots. They just keep winning Super Bowls. And so I think it's coming down to Zach or Ryan again this year for MVP. And personally, I'm going with Ryan for MVP because I pray to God there is some voter bias. Because if Zach's going to win, Cy Young and this award and that award, that they're hopefully they're not going to vote for him for everything. So
I think vote for him for Cy Young.
I think that Zach is going to win an award, but I think that when it comes to the MVP voting, people aren't going to want to vote for him because he won last year. So I'm going back to Ryan for MVP this year.
All right. And one last thing. It's not an award, but it's the most important thing in my eyes. Title game. Who you got in the title game? Who do you have winning it?
This is wild.
It
So
is wild.
the important thing with this is with the expansion of the league here, there's much discussion going to be on how we formulate the playoffs. It seems that if we finish with around 16 players, where 15 when this video is being shot, that we would do an 8-8 style where the top 8 play in the championship and the bottom 8 play for something else to be determined. So with that in mind, that this is going to be a very big change, and it's going to have a very big effect because this is so many more players and so many more opportunities, many more spots to fill.
Nothing is for granted anymore.
Yes.
You have to earn
The
your
regular
way.
season is so important.
It's going
now.
to be
It's
big time
ridiculous.
now. So I think with that in mind, this is where the people who maybe don't try as hard are going to give it forth their best effort. So, but with that in mind, I think the people who put in the most time and effort into this league will probably end up being in that top 8. I'm talking about people that show up the most will probably be in that top 8. I would be pretty surprised to see any more than one newbie in the top 8, to be perfectly honest with you. I think the newbies will struggle in some sorts. Not that they won't have fun, but I don't think they're accustomed to the play as the rest of the core members are. So I think it's going to be a mainly core member championship. And I think this year I will give Jonathan some credit making his way to the title game. And I think I will give Ryan some credit going to the title game this year. I just don't want to see Zach in the title game. I'm sick of him. I hate him. Get him out. I'm sick of him in the WBL. I wish I could ban him for life.
Jeez.
Tell him how you really
That's
feel.
strong.
I'm looking right in the camera. I'll tell you exactly how I really feel. I'm sick of seeing his face in the title game, whether I'm there or somebody else is there. So I'm hoping that championship trophy stays true to me. But for the case of this show, I will say Jonathan and Ryan in the title game. And maybe this is the year that Miller Munchkin gets his hands on the WBL trophy. I'll give my support to my favorite BF Jonathan here.
Thank you. So yeah, I also am not picking Zach. As Nick said, I think his run might be done. He's getting a little up there in age.
Not like me though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got some miles on those tracks, But I'm going with a all-brown household championship.
I like
I
the
think
sound
this
of that.
could be
That's
a
toxic.
tremendous battle. Anyone that's ever been to the Y with Ryan and Nick know how competitive they get with each other. So this will be intense. This you do not, myself included. I'm already nervous about making an error for whatever team I'm on. Because this could be tough. This would be tough. Like I already
You'd be dead.
I already
You'd be dead.
allegedly cost Ryan a championship
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
against Zach.
He cost me a possible championship.
Won him a
football.
championship the last year in the Tennyson Classic, so I made up for it. So it's okay. So I'm going Ryan versus Nick, but I'm going with a repeat. I'm going with Nick just because Nick's a better pitcher than Ryan, and I think he's gonna carry his team like he did, like we saw last time.
I'm already seething thinking about the ground ball that you're gonna botch for my team if you're on my team.
So that's a really original pick. Guess what my pick last year was? Nick over Ryan.
Wow. Good.
Wow. It looks like someone did their homework.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, you picked yourself last year?
I picked myself to lose to you. I correctly picked you to win it.
Oh. Well.
Stupid.
Congratulations.
Who did you wait? You beat Marcus.
Marcus.
Marcus. Okay.
Yeah. And I kind of think it's gonna be a rematch.
Wow.
But the roles are gonna be reversed.
You have a serious
the
Marcus
Marcus
bias this video.
When this video comes out, you're gonna go back
on
and look at
Marcus.
this.
Marcus, you better prove me right, because I'm all in on you this year. God damn it, win it all against this fucker.
3 weeks later, Marcus tears his ACL out for the year. Or sore meniscus out for the summer.
That would be
All right. So I'm gonna pick Marcus to be in the title game, but who he's gonna be going up against? All right, pal.
This is unbelievable.
It's gonna be.
Hey, he was in the championship game last year. He won the FBL championship 2 years ago.
Kid's hot. When you're
Sick
hot,
of
you're
this kid
hot.
Sneaking around, Lynn losing.
But so I think we're gonna see. We have an expansion now. Obviously, it's the biggest in league history, and it's gonna be a big change. I think I'm gonna pick one newbie.
You guys said CP.
I think one newbie's gonna sneak in there in the top 8 at least, and I think that newbie's gonna have a Vegas Golden Knight type of year.
Wow.
I think it's gonna be Paul Bolduc against Marcus in the championship, but kind of like the Knights, just I think there won't be enough.
Well,
there
as
in
we
the title
saw
game.
up in New
I think Marcus
Hampshire,
will win.
as we saw up in New Hampshire, Paul certainly can throw his weight around with the league when it comes to competitions.
It's true.
It is true.
He competed very valiantly in the triathlon.
Mark it down though. It's gonna be Paul versus Marcus. Gonna shock the world at least getting there. People are gonna be like, "How kids knew it's an expansion? How is this possible?" It's gonna happen.
So you're saying for the first time in WBL history, somebody outside of the Big Three, the known Big Three, is going to finally get their hands on that WBL trophy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting scene. All right, well, Ryan, is there anything else we have to get to before we wrap this up?
No, I think we've mentioned every newbie except for Shelly. So I don't know if you'd like to speak to Shelly at all.
Well, if you let me see this for a second. Let me see the notes just so I can see the different awards for the situation. Looking at all the different awards we have for our league this year, I think the biggest chance that Shelly has to win an award probably going to be the Gold Glove Award, to be honest. He's got some goalie experience. He's good with his hands. He's got good reflexes. So I think if you play him on the hot corner, I think Shelly's probably the best chance he has to win an award is probably going to be the Gold Glove Award. So that could be something Shelly to look forward to. Like I said, like Brian has mentioned, all the newbies going to be coming in. It's going to be really interesting to see how they play in. But I think that'll do it for us at the wrap-up show for the WBL preview show. All right. I want to thank all three of you for coming to my house to
Nick's house, by the way. We're at Nick's house
for recording this, and big old middle finger to me from Ryan. Of course, we love that. We love to see that. So
Nick's house.
we'll see you guys in maybe a month for the first opening tournament around Easter break. Tournament break.
Spring
Well, not tournament, but
We have no idea.
the Easter event maybe.
It's definitely not a tournament.
Yeah.
We're done with tournaments. God damn it.
It's just habit. It's just habit.
We're in March. We're thinking tournament.
Yeah.
Spring
Exactly.
training.
That's true. That's true.
Fendi.
All right, so thank you guys for watching. Shout out to our sponsors here, Barstool Sports and Dunkin' Donuts. We love them all. And all our other sponsors, everyone, you follow us, you know the sponsors, you know the deal. So we'll see you guys in about a month, and we are very excited to get the season underway.
Dab. Big dab.
Chicken.
Chicken.